The only thing we are doing a little bit different today that's not very typical about red-black hollowed ones, we have a Grafted Wargear, but this card was pretty decent last time we played too. So we've got a Grafted Wargear to make our Bloodghast, and our Flamewake Phoenix is a little bit better, but this is a pretty stock red-black hollowed one deck list overall. I have not played Witcher 3. Morning, Brian. I'm doing pretty well. Pretty well. We got 3 pretty competitive decks here today. The Bedlam, Reveler, and the Storm deck's a little bit interesting, but Jund and Black Red Hollow One are pretty stock and pretty good. I'm going to keep this. I think I'm saving Justin's deck for me Monday because it fits the theme. None of the decks I'm playing today could qualify for me Monday, and they were all towards the top of the queue, so I wanted to give them preference. So if they have a discard spell, I could get a little bit punished here, but I'm going to just go ahead and lead on Blood Crypt top, so that way I can guaranteed play Hollowed One on turn 2. And again, like, the opponent had plays that could punish us for this, but, like, risking drawing, like, needing to draw, like, exactly Street Wraith didn't seem worthwhile. I think I'm ditching this, and then I'm going to go ahead and play this other Faithless Looting, so we can find another Hollowed One to bin at this point. Yeah, I guess we're just getting rid of those and then casting this for free. And then next turn we can go Fish plus Bolt something. Yeah, the Human deck is really good. It's got a lot of interesting lines in it too. We got Scavenging Ooze. It's a little annoying, I guess. I guess I have Lightning Bolts, so it doesn't really matter. Just go ahead and kill this with fire. Temple Garden, Basic Forest, Scavenging Ooze. Maybe some kind of creature toolbox deck. Leave a Faithless Looting's in here. Put 9 power into play, attack for 4. Our start's not super aggressive, but like our opponent's start isn't particularly aggressive either, so they don't have a Path to Exile here. We should be in a pretty good spot, or any type of... They need some kind of removal this turn to not be pretty far behind. I will not be playing Grixis Control on me Monday. That one does not qualify, so it'll either be Tuesday or Wednesday. Alright, Street Wraith. Let's start with you, see where we get. Flameblade Adept. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and actually just attack for 9 here. I wouldn't be too surprised to see these trade. And then I'm going to go ahead and play Flameblade Adept out, and then hold the Goblin Lore, so that way next turn we can make this a 4-power Dorko. Nice, UK, congrats. Yeah, the Wizards deck's a lot of fun. Has a lot of play to it. It's pretty competitive in most matches that you can play, which is really all you can ask for. I mean, Arena's just standard, right? I guess it's best of 1 standard, which is kind of a little bit different. No, Meme Monday is the one day of the week where I don't play the queue strictly in order. Alright, the opponent can trade for our big fish now. It's a little annoying. Flameblade Adept's going to go ahead and get through here. Unfortunate that we didn't ditch this Bloodghast. I think I'm just going to hold both these cards in my hand here. We'll trade this here. They'll take 4 down to 4 after they correct this fetch land. If they don't have a Path to Exile here, we should still be in like an okay spot. They do have a Path to Exile. That's rough. Ooh, they don't. They're just getting a basic. Alright, so we get to go ahead and lead on Faithless Looting here. I assume there's a collected company in our future here, but this Bloodghast is going to have haste, which is nice. I also get to play this Hollowed One post-combat, which is great. Don't even need to show it. So it looks like they're like green-white stuff. Probably want Fatal Push, Grim Lavamancer, Abrupt Decay here. Collective Brutality seems a little bit medium. That's really the only card I like really want to cut at a glance. Maybe I don't want these Grim Lavamancers. A lot of other things are kind of bigger, right? Yeah, maybe the Grim Lavamancers aren't good enough. What do we think of this? Just like trade the Brutalities for like a push and a decay? I have a friend who's very confident about his deck building and convinced that his blue-red list is better than yours, even though he went 1-2 at a Store Championship, but he won't change anything. No, Techno, you should just ignore people like that. That's one of the things. TCG players, TCGs in general tend to attract the type of people, or certain types of people that are just going to be, like, confident that, like, regardless of what other people do, that, like, their choices are worse than theirs. And, like, the variance element that these games have by design gives people that are looking for a scapegoat for why their ideas aren't good enough or why they're not being successful and someone is. It gives them a very easy scapegoat to cop out on, basically. If you can always, basically, because Magic is an intellectual game and games like this they're a brain power game, right? Like, this isn't a physical game where it's not like a sport, right? So, it's a lot of people take it very personally when you suggest that their things might be worse than someone else's ours have come up with, because a lot of people tie, you know, their intelligence or how they feel about themselves into this card game because it's this intellectual game. So it can be very difficult for them to like accept that, like, oh, maybe I need to work on something and improve. Well, this is, I mean, I'm not here to mulligan this hand, right? We don't even know what half this hand is, but I know it's good. Anyone else remember when Wild Nikado was banned because the 3/3 on turn 1 was too good for Modern? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pretty sure I just want to bolt this Noble Hierarch on one here. This is just so absurd. What? When I see hands like this, it's just like, why is this a thing? Why is kill your thing, put a 4/4 into play a thing? Grafted Wargear is a card that lets your larger threats, that lets your smaller threats brawl with larger threats. We have a lot of recursive creatures in this deck, and Grafted Wargear allows the recursive creatures to be much more threatening. I mean, I assume we're gonna get Path Exiled here, right? But, like, they didn't Path us last turn, so it's like, alright, deal. In. This costs 0 to equip, right? Yeah, it does. Alright. Alright, we're pretty low here, but, like, they're gonna die pretty quickly. Getcha. Are they in love with the Coco, chat? Do you think they're in love with the Coco? I guess I do this, and then I'm supposed to cast this other Goblin Lore, because we could hit Bloodghast plus land, or Flamewake Phoenix in the bin plus land. And then either of those could attack. I'm going to hold on to the Street Wraith cycle for now. I did hit a Bloodghast, so we get to put that into play and attack. And then I can play this Flameblade Adept post-combat. Oh my god, I forgot to attack with this. Hopefully they just hit like a bunch of 3/3s and it doesn't matter. God, I missed damage. I was talking and clicking. No, it definitely wasn't going to be lethal regardless. Like, they obviously had a collecting company. Like, their deck full of mono 3 and 4 drops, like, wasn't doing nothing on 4 there. Oh, I didn't ping Discord. Thank you for the reminder. Sorry, it's the weekend. I'm out of sorts. Done. We could actually hard cast Street Wraith, huh? I'm gonna cast Bloodghast now, though. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and cycle this, because I could hit more things that let me discard. This is just like mill 2. This deck is so dumb. This deck is so dumb when it's good. Remember that time I missed 2 points of damage last turn? Alright, don't fog me and we can be friends. Alright, dead to fog. Come at me. Good, strong card. Strong card. Strong Magic the Gathering card. Strong place. Alright. Man, that was a good example of why we call green-white unplayables. Just a deck full of things that don't interact with like discard spells or counter magic, and a lack of efficient removal and a lack of efficient threats, are just like, you're just asking to get beat up by a deck like Hollowed One that's very efficient and fast at what it does. No, Tech Edge really hasn't been seeing play. The opponent was playing a deck full of lots of unplayable cards, like Tech Edge. Tech Edge was just like one of many in the mix. They're probably playing the Azusa Ramanap Excavator nonsense in their deck too. Just like whole bunch of stuff that you shouldn't be playing. That's gonna be part of Monday, Justin. I opted to play decks today that don't qualify for Meme Monday. No, I like decks that draw cards just as much as most people. Arguably more than most people. I just also like winning games of Magic. That's all I'm going to say about Green-White Value Town is Todd Stevens played Tron at the last 2 opens he played, so just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. Todd Stevens has picked up Tron lands. Zach Myers, this will have to be the last month I'm sub, becoming an adult, and moving to my own apartment tomorrow. Well, thanks for the 5 months, Zach. Hope you'll still be around watching. Thanks for the support. It's a real deck, it's not a beam. In your heart of hearts, baby. I mean, they've been printing cards specifically for Commander for like going on 5 years, right? It's been a long time. Alright, Zach, Dirty Secret to Being an Adult Part 2 is real adults have Twitch Prime, so Amazon Prime, sorry. So when you get Amazon Prime, you can resub that way. I don't know how adults live without Amazon Prime. Like, do you like go to the store to buy things? Going to the store to buy things sounds terrible. As opposed to just like pulling up your smartphone when you realize you need something and then ordering it with 2-day shipping. Going outside is exceedingly loose. Exceedingly loose. Amazon Prime doesn't work in Finland. Jeez, I've heard of these other countries outside of America, but I didn't realize. Do we just consider places that don't have Amazon Prime third worlds? Is that how we classify them now? It would be a really easy classification. Does outside have a fast travel point I can... No, you have to, like, manually go from point to point. It's like playing Morrowind. It takes forever. Anybody remember Elder Scrolls 3? The real OG? Alright, let's draw Faithless Looting on one so I can floop this Hollow Boy into play. The graphics I find outside are usually pretty bad. The contrast is terrible. You can't adjust the brightness very easily. It's like a video game out of the 90s, just no settings. Alright, so we're going to lead on Flameblade Adept here. Same day delivery. That's nice. Yeah, we don't have that in Bloomington. Chicago and, like, bigger cities have same day delivery, but I don't have that where I live in the cornfields. The trick is to bring a bunch of sunglasses with different tints to adjust the brightness, right? That's great. Real life is pay to win. What nonsense. Something that lets me discard cards. Ew. I think I start by cycling Street Wraith every time. Arid Mesa is scary because it implies Jeskai. Alright, I would like to discard Flamewake Phoenix here ideally and keep Hollowed Ones. That means we're going to discard this and keep this. It's funny, somebody else put it, I think it was Bob put it best. He's like, he said that the Bridge Vine deck is a lot like Hollowed Vine, except you never randomly discard the cards you want to keep, so you can't win the game. Very, very similar. Just like the explosiveness. Obviously, there's more differences than that, but like, the level of explosiveness and power you get to put into play is pretty similar, in slightly different ways, though. Oh, you know, I probably should have played a fetch land and picked up a Blood Crypt here. The original Letty, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday. Happy weekend, folks. I'm a workaholic, so I couldn't stay away. I didn't have anything to watch yesterday, so I figured maybe people would appreciate having something to watch today that wasn't standard. And the queue is basically never ending, so extra streams here and there are ideal. Alright. Yeah, I could be plus 2 points of health right now if I'd have sequenced a little bit better. Really looking for like a lucky Goblin Lore. Even a Faithless Looting's pretty good, right? Like looting lets me cast both these Hollow Boys. Yeah, the official proxies on WotC coverage are, like, so embarrassing. Alright, chat. I think we are quickly approaching the market for a 5-mana 4/4. Yeah, I mean, the TLDR is that, like, even like, really well-designed standard formats just, like, really can't hold a candle to, like, what Modern does, right? Like, Modern is very unique in what it does, especially in relation to other TCG formats. Proxies are embarrassing because the reason why proxies exist is because Wizards of the Coast can't print foil cards that are constructed playable because they warp and are marked. So... proxies in and of themselves aren't embarrassing, other than the fact that, like, they're just embarrassing overall. Just, like, someone writing what the Magic card name is on the back of a basic mountain, like, that's something that should be happening, like, in my testing sessions, not, like, on coverage at a Grand Prix. Honestly, I think the biggest problem with the current standard format is that people are just, like, really burnt on standard in general right now. Like, standard's been so bad for so long that, like, people just really don't want to take a risk. And I think just, like, people are sick of Kaladesh. Like, I think the gods... I think the gods are... the gods are just, like, really terrible design. I'm actually gonna play Grafted Wargear out before I play this Goblin Lore, because I think I'd like to keep Wargear in play, ideally. Hopefully we keep our Hollow Boy here. People are so fucking lazy. Nah. Trying not to swear. Trying to swear less. People are so unbelievably lazy. Just want everything spoon-fed to them. That's aggressive, but I think it's pretty correct there. They need to close the game, right? Oh, this is wrong. Maybe this may or may not be wrong. This could induce a misplay, perhaps. No, this is fine, right? Because the Flamewake doesn't come back till combat. Yeah, this is fine. I'm done. This is fine. So I want multiple things with 4+ power here, so I can bring the Flamewake back. I mean, I don't think energy is an inherently bad thing or a bad design. Like, introducing another resource that's mutable is reasonable in Magic. Like, resources make for interesting games. I didn't dismember the land because I wasn't paying attention. I was responding to someone that wanted to be spoon-fed on Twitter. 10 out of 10 should have dismembered the land. There was no reason not to. People that are thinking there was no reason not to dismember the land, you are correct. It was dealing 4 to me. Yeah, the problem with energy isn't the concept specifically of energy itself. The problem with energy is that they stapled gaining energy onto things that shouldn't have had gaining energy stapled onto them. Like, why? Like, Rogue Refiner is like a close to playable card on its own. And then, like, now you suddenly make it make 2 energy on top of that. It's just like, Alright, so now, why do I think the gods are bad design? The gods are bad design because they're difficult to interact with. The interesting part of Magic are the games that have back and forth in them, and the gods don't yield back and forth gameplay. Oh, I punted. I guess, yeah, I punted. I should have cast the Faithless Looting because this bird could get this bird back, which is sweet. I think we're gonna be okay here because of this bolt, but I definitely should have flipped that a little bit. Like, standard's supposed to be a very interactive format, and energy does not yield interactive. Alright, so that Dismember was okay in that game, but this is definitely not a matchup where I want it. I'm pretty sure this is just, like, Blood Moons in, like, Bolt Dismember out. I don't think I want these other cards in here. Yeah, I definitely can't speak to limited formats. I don't really play limited at all. Yeah, I think introducing cards directly to Modern is a great idea. I actually tweeted about that. I think it's great. I can't bring in Abrupt Decay and Blood Moon is the issue. Can only really afford to do one or the other. And I think Blood Moon's better for choking them on their colors. There's a really easy flowchart for what you should be doing in Legacy. Does your deck contain Ponder, Brainstorm, Force of Will? If no, casual garbage. But Jeff, death and taxes, death and taxes, death and taxes. Casual garbage. I'm not the person to ask for Legacy opinions on. I don't play Legacy anymore. I'm taking a break until something changes. Just not enjoying it. Yeah, you basically keep most hands that have like a Looting or an Inquiry, or even a Goblin Lore in this deck. We get 4 shots to find a turn 1 Hollow Boy. It's a pretty good one too. We'll get to turn 2 fish. You know, I have no idea what this hand is. Could be anything. Bin. Next turn we can go crack, fetch, fish. My favorite response to me explaining why I think a deck isn't good and someone else just responds with, "But Jeff, it has results here, here, and here." You don't understand what makes Magic decks good if your response to me explaining why I think a deck isn't good is just pointing to results that the deck has had. Bad decks, it always astonishes me how often people readily accept the fact in Magic, in my experience, of like good players with good decks can lose because they ran bad, right? But the inverse, people have a really hard time accepting that like bad players with bad decks or good players with bad decks can do well because that's how variance works also. Like in my experience, former players are far more likely to be willing to accept the former rather than the latter. This is a medium sequence. I should have waited because I could discard a Bloodghast here. Well. But Scred, what a Grand Prix. Exactly. I made up for playing my lands in the wrong order by being very lucky. Pro tip, if you are very lucky, it doesn't matter how you sequence. What a neat and interesting deck. They brought in Disdainful Stroke. Okay? Okay? Sure. Gosh, your sideboard has to be really bad in this matchup for that to be a card you want to bring in. My graveyard is gone. You got me. Generally speaking, you don't want to be playing counterspells against the deck that we're playing. You want to be playing cards that play to the board because your counterspells are very bad once your opponent gets on the board. Alright. This is pretty good. Gain 7, draw a card. Ooh, did they draw another path? If they hit a second path, we're going to be in a little bit of trouble here. I don't think that's... I guess if you're boarding in Rest in Peace, Stroke is better than Logic Knot. Maybe. Okay. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. You have a bolt. Yeah, my point is that if you're bringing in Disdainful Stroke in a matchup like this, your deck's probably not constructed in a way that's particularly good. You should be playing Leyline of the Void. Your Mardu deck should have Leyline of the Void in it. My Mardu Pyromancer list, preferred Mardu Pyromancer list, can be found on my website. There's a reason why it has the cards it has in it. I think what's it called is very good in that deck. Leyline of the Void. I think not playing Leyline of the Void is a huge mistake in that archetype. One of the big upsides to Mardu Pyromancer is it's a mid-range deck that gets to play cards like Leyline of the Void without the punishment of having to actually draw that card. The best way to become better at Magic is to play more Magic. Repetition, repetition, repetition is key. Alright, I'm just gonna put both these out. If they have a sweeper, they have a sweeper. If they don't have a sweeper, they're taking 5-11 next turn. Ooh, that's brutal. I'm actually gonna hold this for a turn. You can find my deck list on my website here, including my preferred Mardu Pyromancer list. Yeah, this deck's fine, Matt. I played it a few times on stream now. It's Logic Knot. I was like Logic Knot, yep. My body is ready to defend the realm. Sword me, JMP. Thanks for sticking out the whole year. Welcome back. I appreciate it. Thanks for the continued support. Morning, Steven. Yeah, I'm just going to take the controlled looting rather than the random on the inquiry, I think, here. Blood Moon would actually be pretty good here. It's not going to cut them off of a color, but it would cut them off their double blue cards and potentially triple blue cards. And it would turn Celestial Colonnade off, which is their best way to actually win the game. Yeah, the Wargear is very good in these grindy matchups. Very, very good. Just 2 lands away from putting a 5/5 into play, chat. And our Jackal Pup is menacing, thankfully, so we got that going on. We have another path, yep. Do not have a 4th basic, unfortunately. Sid, thanks for checking out, honey. I appreciate it. Welcome. Are they in the quarterfinals already? I guess they're in Brussels, right? Yeah, so they're a little bit ahead of us. All right, we need to run a threat off here, and then we could probably race this colonnade. We probably need a threat this turn or next turn, potentially. Next turn might be too late. Blood Moon, obviously absurd at any point here, because it just, like, turns their threats off and chokes their mana. Boop. That's another thing that makes Modern such a great spectator format. Like, the fact that control is a little bit medium in this format means that the games have more oomph to them on average. Like I think the assessment that, like, playing control mirrors is interesting, but watching them as kind of medium is, like, very, very much holds true. Alright. We have 2 Blood Moons and 19 cards. Can we draw one of them? No, I'm not bringing in Abrupt Decay. I'd much rather have a Blood Moon here. I think bringing in Abrupt Decay and Blood Moon is silly. Alright, well, that Helix could have killed me, so I guess I'll take losing the bird. Helix and Mardu seems worse than just playing more Collective Brutality. And once you have 4 Brutality, I'm not sure you really need Helix. Alright, going to 3 here. Why, Wandering Winder? Be specific. Articulate. Tell me why I should play it post-combat. Do not mind critiques of my play, but you need to be specific and constructive. I think I'm happy with how I sideboarded. I know we didn't hit the moons, like it felt bad to die to the Colonnade, but maybe the Collective Brutalities aren't good enough. Maybe these come up short. Lilibad, thanks for the 6-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Half a year. Welcome back. You can, JMP. You can. Yeah, like, that's how Magic goes, right? You get some back and forth. I think I'm going to leave the Brutalities in. Sometimes we might want to, like, punch a piece of removal out of their hand, and it does just drain them, too. It's like kind of like a flexible Lightning Bolt. Yep, yeah, Bitleys are great. Whenever somebody, like, links me this monster URL for something I'm supposed to remember, it's just like, did you consider making a Bitly? Honesty Dragon, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. And I think the Decay is not good, chat. We have 2 ways to answer Celestial Colonnade. Or, like, you want to bring in, like, Decay to tag, like, their 1 Detention Sphere? I guess they have a Rest in Peace? I don't know. I think I'd rather just, like, play through Rip. This deck plays through Rip pretty well, on average, in my experience. Like, they lined up drawing all of their removal at opportune times. They never drew a Snapcaster Mage to punish having Rest in Peace. Like, with a little bit better variance, we'd have been perfectly fine there. Also, just, like, casting. That card is pretty difficult. Yeah, Wargear is very good at playing through Rip. That is true. I agree with that assessment. Ooh, another Flameblade Adept. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. And then play this Blood Crypt tapped, and then attack for 2 here. Man, it sucks that they don't have a creature. If they had a creature, I could double escalate off the Bloodghast, put the land into play, and then cast the Hollowed One off the land. I think we just have to settle for... I guess I could kill my own thing. How nonsense is that? If I kill my Flameblade Adept, I get to cast Hollowed One this turn. There's more reasons to ban cards than just raw power level. Cards like Umezawa's GTA and Deathrite Shaman create bad gameplay patterns, so they should stay banned for that reason. I kind of like it. I can't floop 2 gas without killing my own thing, JMP. You have to have a target for this stuff. So I'm saying I have to kill my own thing to put the Bloodghast. Yeah, I think this is right. I think I just want to kill them. gonna take their Wear Tear here, which allows them to helix my Flameblade Adept, but I think that's fine. So they're gonna go to 18. They can, like, electrolyze my Bloodghast, but then, like, any land brings those back into play, so, like, that's not really a big deal. Yeah, it's a real shame they didn't play the Wall of Omens out. We'd have been in an amazing spot. I mean, I don't really think that was awkward at all. Like, I was kind of expecting them to have removal spell there when we killed our thing. Like, this is the board state I was expecting. If you were expecting a board state other than this one when I made that play, like, I don't think you were thinking about, like, hands my opponent could have reasonably kept. I think, like, most reasonable hands my opponent kept end us with this board state, and I think I'm okay with this board state based on things. So I have to, like, kill my Bloodghast here. And, like, now if I draw a land, that's good. If I don't draw a land, that's good. Just, like, a lot of things work out for us here now. It's a fine draw. Like, putting yourself in the lands are good, spells are a good position is generally, like, a pretty decent place to be. It's unfortunate that they are at 11 here, because it means my Bloodghast don't come back with haste next turn. What's going on, J Money? Morning. So, Hollowed One is getting cast out. Because I wanted to discard 2 cards on it, so in order to discard 2 cards, you have to have all 3 modes. I could have potentially gotten 1 more point of damage. You're right. I could have done it post-combat, assuming that they were... If I was assuming that they were going to kill my stuff, I could have gotten in 1 point of damage by waiting. And if I had 1 more point of damage in here, it would mean that these Bloodghast could attack this turn, which is actually a big deal. So yeah, I should have used the Collective Brutality the way I did, but post-combat. So... Small sequencing mistake has cost me 4 points of damage. So opponent would be going to 4 right now, which would be much better for us, obviously. Had I sequenced better on turn 3. And that's really, like, those little things are one of the things that make Magic such a difficult game to improve at as a player. Because, like, realizing that I could have made a better play on turn 3 that, like, affected the entire outcome of the game is huge. Brutality did pump my other one, but the other one didn't deal damage. And, like, the way I talked about my opponent likely had a removal spell there means it's correct to attack with both of them first if I'm assuming that they have a removal spell. You're right. No, I don't think I'm supposed to play around Anger. I think having the fetch land to, like, bring them back for more spot removal is more valuable than, like, playing around in Anger that, like, Jeskai often doesn't play and that we haven't seen out of them yet. Like, they have Rip and Grafdigger's Cage. There's a good chance they don't have Anger. I have comments disabled on YouTube because I've never walked away from reading YouTube comments and gone, man, those really improved my life. Those were helpful and constructive. Usually it's a good lord, an actual human being typed that out, and they're a terrible person. Why would anyone type that? That's why I have YouTube comments disabled. Because if you're a YouTube content creator and you allow people to post obnoxious things in the comment section of your video, you are part of the problem. If you're cultivating a space for people to create and post things and you're not moderating those things, you're allowing them to be obnoxious. Yeah, our opponent hasn't been fetching in a way that indicates Anger either. You can message me on Twitch. You can message me on Twitter. You can message me on Discord if you're a subscriber. There are tons of ways for you to access me as a person. Probably just going to get buried by this Escant at this point. Yeah, this is still the same match. And opponents at 1 here, and I missed 5 points of damage. Opponents at 5, and I missed 5 points of damage this game, so... Things to think about. It's not free to hold them, though. People talking about holding the Bloodghast till end of turn, you're acting like holding the Bloodghast is a free decision that has, like, no drawback. It really has drawback. It means that if my opponent has removal, I'm down a way to bring them back. Zero Forever, I'm halfway there. Thanks for the 6-month free subscription, but at the tier 3 level. I appreciate that. Pack JAC Attack. Do you want me to put your tier 3 sub towards bumping that in the queue? Nice, Gator. Congrats. We'll do... Right, that's an Escant activation. What do we get? Another path. They have a Helix and a path. And honestly, like, when people want to ask questions about things on videos, most of the time the answer is just like, why'd you not do the thing? It's because I didn't see to do the thing, and you're correct that doing the thing is correct. Maybe... This doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. Yeah, the deck could have won this game. If I'd have made the correct attack on turn 3, it would have yielded 4 more points of damage from Bloodghast on turn like 6, and then we'd have killed them when they were at 5 there. We weren't 0% there, but we were pretty close to 0. So my one small sequencing mistake ended up causing me to be exactly short enough to have missed killing them. But was that a weird build of Jeskai? It didn't look like they had any Snapcaster mages. I feel like we would have seen them in three games. Sither, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed this month. Thanks for getting me to try out Green Black Rock. Love the gameplay. Sweet. Yeah, that deck's a lot of fun. It's very powerful. Magic is a complicated game. Yeah, I agree. And again, like, the line that I took didn't think about the fact that they, like, likely had removal. What's going on, Nivik? We've been up for almost an hour. I should have let on Bloodstained Mire here, actually. Because if they play something on one that I want to Lightning Bolt, I now can't Lightning Bolt it. Super punished. Oh, just a Rift Bolt. God bless. Onyx, thank you very much for the 3-month resubscription and welcome back. I appreciate that. I'm going to fetch a Swamp here and then cycle the Street Wraith, I think. I think I want to do this turn. Alright, we lost one Hollowed one, but we gained another, so I guess I'll take it. We're at 15. It really sucks that either of these ended up in the bin. We also lost our 3rd land. Yeah, honestly, so I don't think it's fair to say that Bridgevine is a strictly better deck than Hollowed One, because I think Bridgevine is just, like, kind of a different deck. Like, these decks, the 2 decks work on different axes. But from a gameplay perspective, as the person playing the deck, I'd much rather be playing Bridgevine than playing Hollowed One. The Hollowed One deck just has an endless string of feel bad moments. Just, you really need to be tilt resistant to play this deck. Magic's got a lot of variance in it, and this deck, the mechanics of, like, playing Burning Inquiry and these other cards just, like, generate a ton of really feel bad moments. And, like, this deck's definitely very good. We've done very well when we've played it in leagues. It's very powerful, puts up a lot of results, but I think from an emotional perspective, I think this deck is a lot worse to play. Like, I don't think I'd ever register this deck in a tournament that I cared about, because I would just, like, feel bad about not getting to make my choices. Yeah, the Bridgevine deck is super, super decision-based. A lot of choices to make in it. Yeah, I'm gonna BI here. This might be aggressive, but we could potentially kill them this turn, I think. Alright, well that did not work out. I assume we're dead here. Just took a little bit too much damage from our Street Wraith this game, I think. Wonder if Dungrove Elder and Garrett could be valid additions. No, I don't think so, Malv. I think those cards are too slow and grindy. Like the deck's not a grindy deck. I think adding cards like that to the archetype is like misassessing the role that the archetype is trying to assume in most games. Alright, so I'm gonna bring in this Fatal Push and cut this Dismember. We really don't do much here. I actually think despite losing that game, a kind of close game there, I think this matchup is generally a little bit favored for Black-Red Hollowed One. We pretty consistently put big scaries into play with this archetype. Morning, Marion. Morning, everyone. Hope everyone's having a good Sunday, good weekend. I guess it's afternoon, evening in some parts of the world. Pretty good start here. Get our Flameblade on 1, attack for 4, hopefully play a Hollowed One on 2. Yep, block. I think it depends on your deck and like what cards you have to bring in. We again ditched a Hollowed One, but have another in hand, so we got that going for us. We have another Goblin Lore in hand. The fact that, like, Goblin Lore does 3 damage with Flameblade out is so absurd. A ton of red with Dredge currently and taking it to a PTQ. I expect to play a bunch of Dredgevine, Hollowed One, and Humans. I mean, I think trying, again, like, I'm pretty adamant on stream pretty consistently, I feel, about, like, how metagaming is just silly and don't do it. Democracy towards Mardu Pyromancer. I got you, Kanames. Thank you for the continued support. I think I'm just gonna play Grafted Wargear and slide it onto the Flameblade Adept here. The fact that they went Green Source Pass, I think, implies Destructive Revelry here. This is a read Grafted Wargear pause there. Wait. What? I guess if they had waited for killed it before, I would have just equipped it to the Hollowed One. Okay, that's fair. Well, let's just slide this one into play here. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, we're gonna have a moment of Jeff does social media on stream, because I hate people that defend WotC for no reason. Because they have a budget, not to mention, if another 10 to 20k to put coverage on your event breaks the bank, maybe do one less event with a 50k prize pool to add coverage to 2 to 3 other events. Putting up that prize money and not getting the most Right. And then this is the most important part about Jeff Does social media. You gotta read it back to yourself. If another 10 to 20k to put coverage on your event breaks the bank, then maybe do it one less event. Maybe do one less event with 50k prize pool to add coverage of 2 to 3 other events. Putting up that prize money and not getting the most out of advertising for it is foolish. Look, you think that coverage for the weekend only costs 10 to 20k? Listen, if they're spending more than 20k a weekend on doing coverage, I'll tell you what, I'll take a contract to do coverage every single Grand Prix weekend for 20 grand. If it costs you more than 20 grand to put up Magic coverage, like, that's, for one weekend, that's absurd. I don't know, maybe they're spending more than 20k, but you probably shouldn't. I think this deck is very powerful. I think this deck is genuinely very good. While I stand by the fact that it creates feel bad moments, I don't think those feel bad moments take away from the overall power level of the deck. Yeah, it isn't even fancy. It's literally a table, a camera, and a rack of equipment. I'm aware that you need to pay for travel expenses and stuff like that. I'm aware that that exists. That you already have a venue, chat. That's the point. You already have a venue. They already are going through all the costs of getting a bunch of this stuff there. They're already having a ton of costs that they're incurring already. So to, like, not go through and get the extra ones past that seems absurd to me. And guess what? If internet is an issue at your venue, then the issue is your venue and you need to pick a different one. So can I afford to cycle this Street Wraith? I don't think so. I have 3 cards in my bin. I think I need to cycle the Street Wraith because if I don't cycle the Street Wraith, I have to delve my Flamewake Phoenix. Yes, so I'm gonna do that. This also gives me a chance to hit a Hollowed One. Alright, Brutality's not a bad draw. So now I get to go ahead and delve out this everything but the Flamewake Phoenix to put a 5/5 into play. Like, and again, like, Wizards isn't new at this. They've been doing this for 2.5 decades. Like, they aren't hashtag some small indie company, right? Like, they ain't new. Alright, drain and take a card here. See if they have a path or a deflecting palm. If they have path, they're pathing us, obviously. I guess I don't have a land. Did I play my land first? I totally played my land first. Oh, I'm dumb. The reason why I played my land first is because I'm dumb. For those of you that are new to this stream. I'm just timing people out that are talking about facility costs because you don't understand at all. Just don't get it. They already have a facility. I guess if I didn't play the land first, I couldn't bring back Flamewake Phoenix. Yeah, maybe that is right. Maybe Hogland from 2 seconds ago is correct. I'd be attacking for 2 less right now. Yeah. I had a goal. There was a reason why I did what I did. Alright, so I think this is like bolt upstairs, play Goblin Lore. Or just that. Alright. Alright, let's attack, shall we? I knew what I was... Yeah, that's exactly right. I knew what I was doing, and it just escaped me for a second. Current Jeff missed up what Jeff from 2 seconds ago was doing. Alright. How about a healthy dose of upstairs? Who's the burn deck now? Who's the burn deck now? So like basically here's the thing, chat. This is the way. Maybe we should clip this and put it on a rant. Here's the thing about Magic coverage. So you're already putting up $50,000 in prize money, right? And then you're renting a venue and you're paying staff. So like, I don't know, let's make up numbers. Let's say it costs another 50 grand to like get all that other stuff. So you're into a Grand Prix for 100 grand. So you put up 100 grand for a promotional event. Now, that promotional event without coverage is only a promotional event to the 2,000 people that show up to it, right? It's not a promotional event for everybody. But, so you've spent 100 grand to promote your product to the 2,000 people that show up. You could add another 20, or even if coverage is more than that, 30 grand. So you add 20 or 30% more, whatever coverage costs. And now instead of just reaching the 2,000 people at the tournament, you reach the tens of thousands of people that are going to watch your event over the course of the weekend. So by spending 20% or so more money, you reach over double the amount of people. So that's why, if you ever heard the phrase penny wise, dollar foolish, like you are saving this 20 grand, not thinking about how many more people you can reach with that small percentage more. And that's like the smart way to think about these things. You need, if you can spend 20% more to reach a lot more, then that's just smart to spend that little amount more. So yeah, double, quadruple, 5x, whatever amount more people you do. So like, again, that's why it doesn't make sense to have Grand Prix without coverage at them. And if you want to say, but Jeff, there's a Grand Prix in Brussels right now. There's not a Grand Prix every weekend. If your argument is you don't want to cover 2 Grand Prix in the same weekend, 1, you totally could. But 2, even if you didn't want to do that, spread your Grand Prix out. Don't put them on the same weekend. Yes, that's my rant on that. This hand's probably bad. It needs a Faithless Looting. I need a Burning Inquiry or Goblin Lore or something. Hopefully we draw it. So that as a numbers person, that's in my mind how you should approach this. Oh wait, here's the last part of this rant. I'm gonna have to clip this one into 2 parts so I post it to YouTube. Star City Games has coverage at every single open weekend. And guess what? They're a smaller company than WotC and Hasbro. If they can do coverage every weekend, the big kids probably can too. Alright, now I'm done. Alright, that's... Yeah, there's a Grand Prix in Orlando going on right now. Honestly, I really think it just comes down to the penny wise, dollar foolish type saying. I think it's just like somebody somewhere was like, oh, we can save whatever X amount of dollars we can save by cutting this stuff from the event. So someone was like, yeah, we should cut that. Oh yeah, Greekaji, sorry, I was mid-rant. Thank you for the reminder. Thank you for the 15 bucks. Let me click the message there, assume it's for a deck. Long live the robots. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. It's an Actyl. Okay. I'm gonna grab this and just dismember this cat, I think. Yeah, they're definitely an aggressive deck, so I'm going to preserve my health total here a little bit by fetching some basic lands since I had to pay 4 to Dismember. Hopefully we don't get burned out here being a little aggressive. But this cycling this lets me play the hollowed one too. Yeah, I should do this. We're just gonna get like burned out here and feel bad. I'm not cycling that one. I'm not going to double Bolt Rage. I found my limit, chat. Honestly, all right, I'm gonna give you a timeout for saying something unsubstantiated. So, I honestly think a restructuring of Magic's organized play would probably be pretty good for the game. I think people often like to write cop-outs about how Magic can't be popular like Hearthstone, or Magic coverage it's impossible to make more accessible. I think if they move to focusing on more smaller events like Worlds, it would be easier to make Magic more accessible and more popular. I think the way Hearthstone has their tournament set up, where a lot of their tournaments are smaller tournament based, where you know all of the competitors in the tournament, I think that's a big deal. And I think that that makes it more accessible and easier to watch for a lot of people. People don't want to turn on coverage and see like Joe Random playing. They want to like turn on coverage and like know that they can watch an expert or someone that's good at the game. They want to be able to see the commentators be insightful about the history and background of both players that are playing their match currently. Do I want Terminate here? I don't know exactly how controlling I want to be. I think the Bloodghasts are bad, and I just want to be a little bit more controlling. Yeah, are the Blood Moons good? I guess their deck does... It's like boarding in Blood Moon against aggressive decks, especially on the draw, I think is just like a huge mistake. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to submit like this. I'm going to bring in a bunch of spot removal. The PT has a ton of issues with player recognition because most of the people that play on the Pro Tour aren't professional Magic players. A big, and I've been saying this for years, a big problem with Wizards of the Coast is that the way their organized play is structured for Magic is that Magic coverage, one of the big things they do that's different from other coverage, other games, is that other games are trying to tell you should want to watch our coverage. Magic tries to sell the narrative that you should want to come play on our coverage. And you just automatically reach a smaller portion of people because there's a lot of people that aren't interested in ever playing Magic at that level. I think there's a big mindset difference there between the two ways that games even like Hearthstone and Magic approach the way they try to get people to view their events. You should want to incentivize people to watch your coverage, not incentivize people to come play on your coverage. Maybe like, you know, in 1995, that is what you wanted to do, but like in 2018, that's not what we should be doing. Yeah, I agree, Loshway. That is exactly what I think. I think events like I think with Worlds as a tournament is a great event and is structured great. Like that small player style tournament, I think is, God, that's brutal. Woof. All right, maybe I should have gambled on Birding Inquiry. maybe I should have gambled on Burning Inquiry. Alright, so I'm binning this and this, I think. I'm pretty confident I was right to play Pup on 1 here. Yeah, I don't know why that is Mustfall casting. I honestly have no idea what they pay casters. I'd have to assume that, like, if people would rather play than cast, it has to be a money thing, but there's more to it than money for some people too. Them are some big mamma jammas, chat. Alright. Let's get lucky and put 4 Hollowed Ones into play here. Let's see if they crypt us in response here or not. They did not. Okay. Morning, Apprentice. Hope you're doing well. Crypt is kind of an awkward card against this deck, because you have to, like, use it really aggressively. I think I want to just attack them for 4 here, and then try and rip something to kill them next turn. Just, like, go, like, just accept that I'm not beating removal or Teamer Battle Rage, and just, like, go chump chump, and then hope to rip a bolt. Ended up playing Bridgevine with Hollowed One in the Mox and managed to go 5-3. That's rough, 9 of spades. Yeah, Faithless is lethal if they don't have removal or another blocker here. Good catch. I was thinking I needed something, but I don't. I'm not sure why they conceded there. Maybe they're just assuming I have looting. I think WotC should ever make Arena have Legacy or Modern. I think they should do a cost-benefit analysis, and if they think it's profitable for them to include those formats, then they should. And if they don't, then they shouldn't. I think, that being said, could you imagine building a Modern deck with wild cards? Building a Modern deck with wild cards sounds really bad. Like, building Legacy and Modern decks with the Arena card acquisition system, like, I can't even imagine what that's gotta be like. Alright, time to gamble. Like, lose my second land and my Hollowed One. Ooh. Ooh. If we were a little bit more fortunate, we'd have binned these birds, but I'll take a turn 1 4/4. Ooh, Tron, eh? Tron. All I'm going to say is about, like, making, like, Arena and coverage and stuff. I think it's definitely a fair assessment that it's difficult for Magic to translate as elegantly to digital as games like Hearthstone and others do. But at the same time, I think it's a cop-out to say that what we have now is the best we could do and we should stop trying. I do think that just from a complexity standpoint and, like, lands especially, lands are a big thing about making Magic coverage awkward. They just, like, they take up so much space. Alright, so we're gonna attack for 6 next turn. We'll attack for 8 the turn after that. Get it going on. Worm Coil might be too much for us here, but... And they also like have to have Tron, I suppose. God bless you, Burning Inquiry. God bless you, Burning Inquiry, in this low variance game. Marty, handing out the presents. Thank you, Marty. I appreciate it. You the best. Look, chat, they had a second land. They had a second land. We just have a low variance game here. Yeah, Menu Masters is great. We actually played that a little bit. Christy got another... Actually, our board games are sitting out here. I'm gonna make Christy do the board game page on our website. This game, we played this last night. This is the sleeve. The actual game called Everdell, I think. This is Christy has a Kickstarter board game addiction. We have a lot of Kickstarter games in my house. But this one was really good. Some Kickstarter board games are a little bit bad. This one was great. For all the new subs that Marty just gifted things to, be sure you pop in the subs Discord. Lots of good magic and other chat there. Thoughts on Twilight Imperium? I don't know what that card does offhand. Or is that a board game? Twerk you later! Doling out some sub-gifteroonies as well. Thank you, folks. I appreciate that. Y'all are the reason I'm able to be here so often, day in and day out. It's a board game. I've not played that one. Can't say that I've played that one. At some point, we're going to add a board game page to my website similar to the deck list page that I have, so people will be able to find some of our favorite games on there. Details on getting into the Discord are here. Alright, Tron. I've got this wet ball. I've got these blood moons. These brutalities are bad. That's pretty clean. Dismember and brutalities are bad. These three are good. In. Lightning bolt's like not amazing, but it at least kills them. Jumps up and knocks them on the head. Maybe Ancient Grudge is better. Nah, I'm not going to bring in Grudge when I'm bringing in Blood Moon. Took down F&M with your updated to Wizards. Felt great. Delver was very kind. Yeah, it took a lot of fun. How often were you mulliganing to a turn 1 threat? I just keep functional hands. Don't mulligan. Mulliganing in Magic sucks. There's a reason why close 7 into unkeepable 6 is a bingo square on this stream. That happens far too much. How do you feel about various train games like Ticket Party? With the extra one. Yeah, the spell snare slots are kind of like your metagame counterspells, basically. Like, feel free to mix and match. I do think they should be 1-mana counterspells, but like, snare, main deck dispel, spell pierce, I think those are all fine options. Train games like... I don't think I've ever played Ticket to Ride. We played some other train game that Christy kickstarted that was kind of medium. I forget what it was called. So, you're gonna have moments like this where you ask yourself, am I supposed to Burning Inquiry or Faithless Looting on one? And this is what I have to say to you, Hollowed One players. You didn't register this deck to not Burning Inquiry on one. The only time you should Faithless Looting instead of Burning Inquiry is if you also have Street Wraith. Because you basically just want to give yourself the best chance to turn 1 Hollowed One in this deck. Is there a budget replacement? No, you just shouldn't build the deck, Zach. You could budget the Scalding Tarns, but you really can't budget Snapcaster Mage. Snapcaster Mage is a uniquely powerful card. I think they're both good, Bushi. I think they do kind of different things, and they're both going to exist in the format. We got a Tron piece off of them there. Alright, so I get to looting, ditch 2 Bloodghast here, which is great. Now I get to do this. Wonder if they have Surgical. I've seen some Tron decks playing that card. Next turn we get to looting for +2 damage. They're not going to have Tron until 4, but our start's pretty slow here. Not having pressure on 1 kind of sucks. I guess we could hit Blood Moon and Damping Sphere still, which would be very good. If they have like a turn 4 Ostone or Ugin, we're going to be in a lot of trouble though. How much coding knowledge do you need to have a similar laying to your website in WordPress? Setting up the core WordPress is very, very easy to get going, especially just like a simple blog page. It just usually does a lot of that out of the box. At this point, I have a lot of plugins on my site for various things, but just like a simple blog thing with the search, like my searching was more complicated because I'm explicitly like tagging things with different archetypes and stuff like that, and like they're not all blog posts. But like for just like a general blog, it's very easy to get WordPress going. Damping Sphere. All right, I guess I'll take another Faithless Looting, because every Faithless Looting we cast here is +2 damage, right? Like card selection plus damage. Go go go. Alright, well, attack it for 10 here. No big deal. So you get to crack them for... Yeah, people who gifted sub can bump decks in the queue. Yep. Yeah, the people who give out the sub gifts are welcome to bump things in the queue if they would like. Just drop me a message. So, do I want to play Flameblade Adept here or Gurmag Angler? They're both lethal, right? I guess Gurmag Angler is better against exactly Ugin. Yeah, tier 1 subs don't get points, but people giving out sub gifts get points because they're giving me extra. I think I'm going to play the Gurmag Angler because it's better against explicitly Eugene. This means playing out Gurmag Angler means if they want to trade Eugene for my board, they have to get rid of him instead of just -2ing. Why would they crack that? That's very bad. They're at 10, so like my Bloodghast come back with haste now. Oh, it's much better against Walking Ballista. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I'm 10 out of 10 just like casting looting here looking for a land. We find like untapped red source. We just get to go, ooh, this is really bad for us, actually. Alright, well, that worked out for them. No punishment. Forgot this is a no justice stream. Tier 2 subs cost $10. So tier 1 subs are 5, tier 2s are 10, and then tier 3s are 25. I mean, cracking your Oblivion Stone in general right away just like doesn't really make any sense, Greeny T. Run it back on the play here. A little bit slow on the draw. Playing for... This is playing for the 4-1, right? Yeah, we were 3-1 here. This league was pretty quick. We might get to 5-4 decks today. I'm going to do at least 3, or at least I'm going to do this Storm and Jund. We'll probably just do 3 today. I'm going to be on for 8 hours tomorrow, and then Justin has informed me he's paying for 12 hours on Tuesday. So yeah, I'm just going to do 3 decks today. It's not... I was planning to take yesterday completely off, and then I ended up spending like 2 hours making the search function work on my website the way I wanted it to exactly. So that ended up being more than I expected. I was like, this should be really quick and easy. Nope. Yes. So you want to lead on Wooded Foothills here as opposed to Bloodstained Mire, because remember, we are a red black deck at our core, and this can fetch our basic swamp. So I'm going to go ahead and fetch Blood Crypt with the Wooded Foothills here. No, Jund's going to be last. We're going to be playing Storm next. We play the... Unlike a lot of people that stream, I'm very organized. So the order of the decks in the stream title are the order that we're going to play them. It's pretty good. Am I going to have to delve the Flamewake Phoenix next turn? I don't think so, right? I can discard this, and then next turn I can go fetch Looting, which puts 8 cards in the bin, and then I can cast Gurmag Angler and bring back the Flamewake next turn. I don't know what that means, Alpha, or AP Blardo. Sweet. Okay, so I get to leave exactly... Oh, I should have discarded the Burning Inquiry here, because I have to delve my Faithless Looting. I get to keep both my birds in there, though, which is nice. Oh, full text search? No, I'm just tagging. I'm tagging its categories, not doing a full text search. So if you go to my website, there's... You can just pull it out. So the deck list page now has a search function here on the right, so you can like check like I want high potential and proven decks, and I want them to be aggro, and then you can click find here. It's going to show you decks that qualify those conditions. You can refine your search using the checkbox on the right. Although the scrolling on it jumps a little bit sometimes because of the plugin I'm using. Knocking down blue-white turns. Oh, twerk. We're going to play blue-white turns during Meme Monday tomorrow. Alright, so... I think I'd rather just bring back these birds than do anything else, right? You want to bump Bant Friends? I got it, Marty. If they have a Dismember here, I could get punished. But I think I'm just supposed to, like, go for cracking them for 9 here. And I think I'm going to hold this Swamp in my hand for now, because I wouldn't mind discarding it, I don't think. Also, like, I might discard this Bloodghast and then want to bring it back with haste. If they Karn us next turn, we're still in an okay spot. If they Worm Coil us next turn, we're probably in a little bit of trouble. Pretty good start here on the play. This is not lethal because they have to be at 10 or less for Bloodghast to have haste. So if they're at 11, it is not speedy. I hate this person so much. They're such an obnoxious troll. So here's the pro tip. A lot of people, if they were just like a random, I would just mute them and move on. But that's the one that like has Cedric's ear and like people at WotC follow too. So like when they post incredibly stupid stuff like that, I think it's worth responding. So again, context in who is posting the thing is relevant, chat. Are they claiming their own star here? Sure. Oh, Bolt Bloodghast. They still wouldn't have died there, right? Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna cast this. Pass the turn. Bolt Bloodghast was not lethal. They'd be at 1. I still have this, so like, he did not get Ugined. Alright, that's reason to hold the Bloodghast. Yep. No, I think bolting the Bloodghast is wrong here. I'd rather just, like, be able to draw another bolt and kill them. Alright, what do we got? Second Nature's Claim, rough. Like trying to dodge a threat here, basically. Survey says. Thank you for messaging me, Twerk. I definitely missed it. Yeah, for extra money, I'm always willing to build the deck for you. The secret to breaking into Magic content creation is that it's 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will. Did I just BI here? I should just BI here, right? Opponent said GG, so I think we hit the 4-1. Alright, and they're dead. Yep, just on a bunch of bricks. So a more serious answer before I do the wrap up here on content creation is that you should never go into any type of content creation with the idea that like you need this to be successful and like this is gonna become your job. Justice, Just Inc. Sorry, thank you for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. I know I made the Slim Shady reference there or whatnot, but like, no, that was Linkin Park. God, I don't know, some 90s rep, whatever. All right, so I listened to all of them. But it is a part luck that goes. It's Fort Minor. Yep, it is luck that goes into it. It's like right place, right time. You happen to get a big host from someone. You happen to be streaming at a time where nobody was live. Like, you happen to, like, find a new deck that a bunch of people found interesting and wanted to watch a bunch of content for. Just Seth, thanks for the 3 months and welcome back. I mean, I did this for a very long time before it turned into anything even close to real. Alright, anywho. This is pretty stock black-red hollowed one. The Grafted Wargear is, like, really growing on me. I know the one match we lost in that league was the Jeskai control, but I punted that match to Jeskai control. We would have killed them in game 3 if I'd have sequenced slightly better. I missed 5 points of damage effectively, and they ended at 5. As far as, like, the 75 goes, I think not playing Leyline in your 75 right now is a huge mistake. You should have, if you're playing a Faithless Looting deck, you should play 4 Leyline of the Voids. I don't care what your other 71 cards are. If there's 4 of this card in your deck right now, you should be playing 4 of this card. I think that's just like the TLDR. I'm not sure if I like Blood Moon or not in this archetype. I really feel like a lot of the decks you want Blood Moon against, you're pretty reasonable against. I guess Jeskai control might be hard, and this card's good at stealing games against them, so maybe it's, maybe it's fine. But yeah, anyway, the TLDR, like, people, this is the card people want to ask about from this league. The fact that it, like, makes your recurring threats more scary, and, like, the fact that it just makes Hollow One and Gurmag Angler, like, hit really hard and fast is great, too. So, I think one of these is pretty interesting. I think it's probably worthwhile.